What's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Emmanuel. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, I go by the name of Emmanuel, aka palmwinepapi. I review Afrobeat, Afropop, and Nigerian music in general. So definitely check out the other content. Okay, today we are talking the 2021 Grammy nominations. Okay, 63rd Grammy. Obviously, this being a channel focused around Afrobeat, Afropop, and Nigerian music, we have to talk about the Nigerians that had a good turnout and representation from. First off, to be a diaspora. Okay, let's talk diaspora first. Chika, man, absolutely excited for Chika grabbing her first Grammy nominated. If you guys don't know, Chika is an amazing MC and musician in general. Definitely looking forward to her career. So yeah, big ups for Chika. Another win was, not win, but nomination was Wizkid getting a lot of people are trying to take this as it's a Beyonce award. Yes, it is, but this is a nomination for the best video, and Brown Skin Girl got nominated for that. And definitely Wizkid was a performer on the video, so he is definitely going to walk away if this wins with something. And yeah, it's a big congrats to everyone involved for that. Another Nigerian getting mentioned here would be Tiwa Savage and Femi Kuti for the contribution on Coldplay's album. They have credits there, and it's just an amazing that they got nominated. So unfortunately, Celia didn't pick up any nominations or anything, but she walks away with a nomination for contribution for Coldplay. And yeah, that's it. No, except one. There's obviously one big one that we're here for. It's Burna Boy. Burna Boy picked up his second nomination back-to-back consecutively, man. It's obvious that the Academy sees a lot in Burna Boy for them to keep tabs with him. This new album, Twice as Tall, part of the motive and part of the motivation behind that album was off of the fact that he lost the first Grammy nomination that he got to Angelique Kidjo. And everyone thought it was winning it then. And then just learning of how it's not about like being the most impactful album. You could arguably say even African Giant at that time was the most impactful album on that list, based on like say what charted or what sold the most. And we kind of just went with the knowledge that we have in our own bubble and said, oh yeah, Burna Boy is winning it then. Came out, he didn't win, and the Grammy giant, okay, Angelique Kidjo, being obviously the more revered, more respected artist in that space, picking it up. So it made sense that the Grammys pay attention to, okay, who is the person that we regard as like on this pedestal, right? And I feel like part of their nomination process and part of their award-winning process too is who basically the impact is not a huge factor for them. If the process was based off of impact, you would have seen The Weeknd pick up like probably 9 nominations, but guess what? The guy picked up nothing, okay? That was daylight robbery, man. How The Weeknd didn't have any nomination, that's a whole nother matter, bro. But nonetheless, it tells you how the Academy works sometimes. It's kind of very unpredictable. Impact doesn't have that huge of a role here. So yeah, nonetheless, I was actually impressed with their hip-hop rap category. So the rap field, I feel like they were solid this year. But nonetheless, man, Burna Boy now is up against 4 other artists and bands. The first one is a band from Mali. Tinariwen is a band from Mali that have won a Grammy before in the same category and have been nominated 3 times in total. This is a familiar face for the Grammys. This is a familiar face for those that will be voting. Obviously, it's not an album that you find someone like me checking out, but I listened to it and I get it. I get why it's a solid album. I get why it's here. Obviously respected based on regional preferences, and definitely a good contender here because they're the only ones that have won it before. There's no reason to say they cannot do it again. Next is Antibalas, that happens to be a Brooklyn-based Afrobeat band. Okay, it's led by a Nigerian-born vocalist. Sings in pidgin, sings very much copy-paste fella inspired type of Afrobeat. Now, if you get to listen to their album, it's a solid album. It's a good listen, especially if you're a fan of Afrobeat. And you definitely see the appeal of this album. It's very well cut out of say like a Seun Kuti album as well. I felt like it's just really captured the essence of Fela, and it does a very good job in terms of formatting and instrumentation, down to vocal delivery, down to how the saxophones, the presence of the saxophones on here, just the orchestral feeling that you'd hear on a very organic Afrobeat album. They bodied it, and this is their first Grammy nomination. And if you listen to that album, you definitely know and recognize why this album got nominated. As I was listening to this and jamming to it, I was like, boy, this one's gonna be hard, man, because it's gonna be hard for Burna, just knowing the weights that this album holds. And because it's a Fela infused type sound, it also carries the legacy of Fela, which has always been backed up with activism. Okay, now a lot of the songs are fueled from calling out fake politicians, calling out corrupt politicians. You get to grab the real essence of Fela on this album, and it feels like it's something they respect. They respect they don't respect Fela, man. They respect the whole Kuti clan. Seun Kuti has been nominated before. So this is, again, the Academy is very like very familiar with this sound, very familiar with this line of projects that I wouldn't see why not they could give this album the award, because it's that powerful. Even though it's their first nomination, they've been a band that has been formed from the 90s, so they are not new to this. Next up is Bebel Gilberto. Okay, she's a charting guitarist, singer-songwriter from Brazil. And she comes from Brazil music royalty as well. Her father is João Gilberto. Imagine Fela, but in Brazil, right? Music royalty. It's almost like if Seun Kuti was nominated in this case. I'm just trying to bring it home so we can relate to it. But basically, she's from music royalty. She has been nominated four times, so she's a big deal, especially in Brazil spaces and in the Grammy spaces as well. So yeah, this is gonna be a tough one because, again, another very respected artist, and she's not one to be slept on. Okay. Next up is another artist, British Indian Anoushka Shankar. I definitely enjoyed her album, man. Her voice is so angelic and smooth, man. It's just very soothing, mixed with the Indian instrumentals, and it's called Love Letters, and it's an EP rather. It has like six songs, and everything. It was just a pleasant listen. It was just a very good listen, and I could definitely see why this album was nominated. And guess what? This is the 7th time she's been nominated for this category. So, man, I don't know, man. This is the big one that we think. This is the big fish here. I think if there is anything, bro, people look at it as, okay, she has to win at this point, because saying, of course, like 7 times never win. But nonetheless, it shows how difficult it is to crack this category, because you're competing with the entire globe. She is the biggest contender, I think. I think she's the biggest contender. I think the album is so beautiful that you're like, okay, yeah, I think this deserves it. Because it's very convincing, because, yeah, that was a very solid EP. Very like straight to the point. Especially with an EP, there's not much fluff around EPs, and it's just very short and punching, and I think this EP was, and it's gonna be a very strong contender. Now, my 2 biggest contenders, and I'm being honest, I'm being fair here, my 2 biggest contenders. Now, after listening to all the projects and examining who they are coming from and where they're coming from, and factoring the politics behind the Grammys, I'm thinking it's between Anoushka and Antibalas. I think it's between those two. Just Anoushka being just from the politics side of things, and how her project sounds too is amazing, and Antibalas just for the reverence that an Afrobeat record comes with, and just how solid it is. But yeah, I think those are the 2 biggest contenders Burna would have to get away from. Looking at Burna Boy, Coming Twice as Tall, that album is a solid album, and I've given my reviews. I've given as to why it is. Obviously, Burna Boy being respected in the Grammy space, but at this point, it made sense that he was nominated for this Grammy, and it's a huge accomplishment. It's something to be honestly celebrate it. I feel like we tend to raise the bar. Like we're being Nigerian parents right now, man. All of us are thinking if Burna Boy doesn't win, then he has failed. Then we start laughing at him. But guy, he has already won. Like he has won. He's the only artist in the contemporary African music space that is up there. So like, come on, like he has won. He has won. But I mean, for him to accomplish something that hasn't been done before, I mean, it's something that it says a lot to his talent, says a lot to him as a product, as a brand, and yeah, it's just amazing. To be fair, I think Burna might be in a better chance to win it this time around. I think he is in a better place to win it. To be frank with you, if he doesn't win it, regardless, we still see him as a winner. We should all still see him as a winner, because again, it's amazing what he's doing and where his career has gone to at this point. I want Burna to win it, but I think Anoushka, Shankar might pick it up. Obviously, we're not going to find out till January 31st. So for the next 2 months, let's celebrate Burna Boy. Let's like everyone that has been involved in that project, from Diddy to Tels to Lyric, all the producers, all the hands that got involved. Man, it's a big win for them. It's always a huge deal. You're getting a certificate. You're getting a certificate regardless. So I mean, the price went up. It's easy. The price went up right now for all of you, so it's good. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're new to the channel, I have album reviews on this channel, on my main channel, okay? So definitely go check it out, subscribe. I've been your boy Emmanuel, and I'll see you guys on the next upload. Peace.